Okay, so next string function is the replacement string. So with the help of this particular replacement string, what we are doing here is we are replacing the text with a string. We are replacing the text within a string. Okay, if you want to replace the text within a string, so for that you have to use the str_replace function. For that you have to use the str_replace function. So here this function replaces some characters with some other characters in a string. This function replaces some characters with some other characters in a string. So for example, so you take your replacement text is a world. Your replacement text is a world with Dolly. Your replacement text is world. Okay, your replacement text is world and your replacement word is a Dolly. Okay, so here this is example here. So first you have to pass that replace text. You have to pass the replace text. After that you have to pass the replacement word. That word what word you want to replace, that word you have to pass here. After that finally you have to pass your entire string here. Okay, pass your entire string. So the output should be, so if you execute this particular PHP file, you will get the output hello Dolly. Hello Dolly is your output. Okay, hello Dolly is your output. These are the string functions. Now we'll talk about the arrays. Okay, now we'll talk about the array. So what is this particular array? Array stores the multiple values in a single variable. Array stores the multiple values in a single variable. For example, so we are taking the example called the cars. We are having the different types of cars are there, right? So first one is a Volvo, BMW and Toyota is there. Okay, these are the elements are available in this particular array. So in this particular array, what is the first element? First element is a Volvo and second element is a BMW and third one is a Toyota. Clear? So Toyota, right? So now what we are doing here, we are printing all these array values. We are printing that particular array manually. We are printing how we are printing that particular array manually. So we are calling that particular index value cars of index value. Cars of index value. What is here index value? Index value is 0 and here the index value is 1 and here index value is 2. Now what is the size of this particular array? The size of the particular array is 3. Size of the array is 3. Now index starts with the 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. Or we can say that the size of the array is n. The index starts with the 0 and ends with n-1. Ends with n-1. So in this particular PHP, we are having the different types of arrays. The first one is a indexed array. Second one is a associative array and third one is a multi-dimensional array. First one is a indexed array, second one is a associative array, third one is a multi-dimensional array. So this part, what is this particular indexed array? Indexed array, arrays with a numeric index. Arrays with a numeric index. So for example, take this particular example. Our array name is a car, right? So there we are creating an array with the help of the array function array of, and we are passing our values there. Value 1, value 2, value 3. Okay, by default, by automatically some index value will be created for that particular array. So that is called the numeric array, or we can say that is called the indexed array. That is called the indexed array. The numbers, the index are created automatically. So how the index will start? Index will start with the 0 and ends with n-1. Ends with n-1. That is called the indexed array. Next one is the associative array. Next one is associative array. Arrays with named keys. Arrays with named keys. Clear? So in this particular associative array, we are not having any indexes 0, 1, 2, 3. In this particular associative array, we are storing the value and the key. We are storing the value and we are storing the value and the corresponding key we are storing in that particular array. So that is called the associative array. Last one is a multi-dimensional array. So multi-dimensional array means what? We are having the different types or different dimensions of arrays. So first one is a single dimension. Next one is a multi-dimension. Is that in particular multi-dimension we can store the multiple arrays in a one single array. We can store the multiple arrays in a single array. So that feature is available in this particular PHP. So now we'll quickly dive into the indexed array. So what is this particular indexed array? So there are two ways to create indexed array. We are having the two ways to create this particular indexed array. So index can be assigned automatically. So first one is index is assigned automatically. So automatically means what? The index value always starts with the 0. Index value always starts with the 0. So we are saying that is called the automatic indexed array. Okay. So the second one is the index can be assigned manually. Index can be assigned manually. So here cards of 0 equal to Volvo, cards of 0 equal to Volvo, and cards of 1 equal to BMW, and cards of 2 equal to Toyota. Clear? So if you want to assign manually for your array, you can assign them manually. If you don't want to assign the index value manually, if you want to assign the index values automatically, you can use this particular style. You can use this particular style, that is a cars. This is a array name. Array name is a cars equals array of Volvo, BMW, and Toyota. Okay, BMW and Toyota. Automatically index is assigned to that particular array. Index is assigned to that particular array in the form of the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3. If you want to assign manually, you don't want to give the index 0 to the Volvo. You want to make that particular Volvo as the second index value. So you can write here cards of 0 equal to BMW, and cards of 1 equal to some Toyota, and cards of 2 equal to, you write your Volvo. Like that manually we can assign the index values to your array. Okay, these are the two types of creating the index value for your arrays. Second one is the, so next for example, so here we are having the cards are there. You create an array with the help of the array function only. We can create the array with the help of the array function only. We can create the array. So there what we are doing, there we are passing some values. First one is a Volvo, second one is a BMW, and next one is a Toyota. Okay, first one is a Volvo, second one is a BMW, next one is a Toyota. So if you want to print all those values, so how we are printing? Just we are calling the array of 0, array of 1, array of 2. So array of means what? Here you have to call that particular array name. So what is our array name here? Our array name is a cards. Cards of 0, cards of 1, cards of 2. Like that we can call and we can print that particular array. So now we'll see the output for this particular array. Okay, so here this is the output. First one is a Volvo, second one is the BMW, and third one is the Toyota. Clear? So third one is the Toyota. This is an example for your indexed array. This is example for your indexed array. So next one is the associative array. So next one is the associative array. So associative arrays are arrays that use names, keys that you assign to them. Means what? Here we are taking the help of the names and keys. With the help of the names and keys, we are creating the associative array. In this particular associative array, so for creating this particular associative array, we are having the two ways to create this particular associative array. We are having the two ways to create this particular associative array. So first one is you write your array name. After that, write your array function. So write your value. What is my value here? Peter is my value, and you assign some key to that particular value, and this is called the key. Okay, this is called the key. And next one is you write some value here. Next value in array, second value. My second value is Ben, and what is the key here? 37 is my key. And here Joe is there. You write the Joe and you assign some value here. So that is the key. Okay, and these are called the keys, and Joe, Ben, and Peter are called the values. Okay, that is the first thing. That is the first way of creating the associative arrays in PHP. And second one is, so directly whatever in previous indexed array, we are manually assigning the manually we are giving some indexed value, right? So here also, so manually you can assign some numbers, or you can assign some keys to that particular array. So here what is my array value here? Age of Peter equal to 35. Now age of Ben equal to 37, age of Joe equal to 43. So like that you can assign the keys or values to that particular arrays. Clear? So this is about the associative array. So next one is a multi-dimensional array. So multi-dimensional array means what? We are having the we are having the multiple arrays, or we are storing in a single array, we are storing the multiple arrays. In a single array, we are able to store the multiple arrays. Okay, that feature is supported in this particular PHP scripting language. That feature is supported in our PHP scripting language. So now we'll see the examples. Now we'll see the one example here. So you take here book is there, book is my array name, and you write your array function, open your array function. You first write your array, first array. This is the first array. In this particular first array, what you are writing here? You are writing the title of the book, you are writing the editor of the book, and you are writing the author of the book. That is one array. Okay, so means what here in this particular array, I am having the first value. What is my first one? First one is the title. Title, what is my title here? PHP manual and editor X. Next one is the author equal to some A. Okay, this is a one array. So what is the second array? Second array also same, but there is a different authors and different names. Different author. What is my second title? Per language. Editor is Y and author is B. That is another array. So what is the third one? Third one is a C. Next one is editor is Z and author is C. Clear? So here how many arrays we are having? We are having the 3 arrays in a single array. So what is my name? My name of the array is the books. In this particular books array, I am having the 3 arrays. 3 arrays are nothing but first array for the PHP, second array represents the per language, and third array represents the C language. Okay, so in a single array we are storing the multiple arrays. So and we are saying that is called the multi-dimensional array. That is called the multi-dimensional array. So next one. Next, after arrays are completed, so now what we are doing here is, now we are talking about some sorting techniques are there. So in PHP we are having the some sorting techniques is there. Sorting techniques are there. So first one is a sort. First function is a sort is there. With the help of this particular sort, what we are doing here is we are sorting the all elements in ascending order. We are sorting the all elements, or we are sorting the all elements in an array in ascending order. That is for that we are using the sort. So next one is a OR sort. OR sort means what? Reversing that particular array. First your sorting is done. That is for sorting the array in ascending order. We are using the sort function. If you want to print that particular array in a reverse order or in descending order, for that we are using the OR sort. For that we are using the OR sort. Second one is the A sort is there. Okay, A sort is there. A sort means what? That is related to the associative array. That is related to the associative array. Normal indexed array, for sorting the indexed array values, we are using the sort function and OR sort function. If you want to do the sorting operation on your associative array, for that we are using the A sort, K sort, AR sort and KR sort. Okay, so what is this particular A sort? A sort means what? It is related to the associative array. It sorts the all values in ascending order. It sorts the all values in ascending order based on the value. Based on the value or according to the value. Clear? So A sort means what? This particular A sort associative arrays in ascending order based on the value, based on the or according to the value. Okay, so next one is the K sort is there. So K sort means what? Here what we are doing here, sort associative arrays in ascending order according to the key value. So first we are sorting based on the value. Second sorting we are using for the key value. For sorting the key value, both we are using for the ascending order. First one is doing the ascending order based on the value, and second sorting we are doing the ascending order based on the keys. Okay, and third one, next one is the AR sort is there. AR sort means what? We are reversing that particular array, or we can say we are printing that particular array in a descending order according to the value. According to the value, and we are printing in that particular array in a descending order. So next one is a K sort order. K sort function is there. With the help of this particular K sort function, what we are doing here? So we are printing all elements in a descending order based on the key value. Based on the key value. So how many functions are there? Total we are having the total total we are having the 6 array functions are there. What is the first one? First one is a sort and odd sort is there. Sort we are using for the printing the ascending values, and odd sort we are using for the printing the descending values. And these two sorting techniques or these two sort functions we are applying on the indexed array. We are applying on indexed array, and remaining 4 sorting functions we are applying on associative array. In associative array, so first sort we are doing based on the key value, and second sort we are doing based on the key based on the value. Okay, based on the value. So first one is if you want to print all information in ascending order based on the value, for that we are using the A sort. If you want to print that particular information in a descending order, so for that we are using the A or sort. If you want to do the ascending order based on the key values, for that you have to use the K sort function. If you want to print all values in a descending order, so based on the K value, based on the key value, for that you have to use the K or sort function. Okay, K or sort function. So these are the 6 different types of sortings are available in our PHP. Okay, so first one is a sort. First one is a sort function or sort function we are using. So what is the structure, how to write this particular PHP code? So cars equal, first you declare or you define your array. First you define your array equal to Volvo 1, Volvo 2, Volvo 3. Okay, you write some content there, Volvo, BMW and Toyota. Okay, after that you use your sort function. In sort function you pass your array here you have to pass, and this your output will become, it will print all elements in a ascending order. What is the first element it will print? First it will print the BMW. So what is the next one? It will print the Toyota, and next one is the Volvo. Clear? This is the ascending order. So if you want to print in a reverse order, so for that you have to use the odd sort function. So what is the output for this particular function? The output is Volvo, Toyota and BMW. So next one is a sort algorithm or a sort array or a sort function. So what we are doing here, we are sorting this particular array based on the values. Based on the values. Clear? Based on the values we are sorting that particular array. Clear? So what is that particular array? That particular array is a associative array. For associative array we are using the A sort algorithm, A or sort function, A or sort function, K sort function, K or sort function. A sort means printing the values in a ascending order. A or sort means what? We are printing the values in a descending order. K sort means what? Printing the values based on the key value. Based on the key we are printing the values. If you want to reverse that particular information based on the key, for that we are using the K or sort. Okay, now we'll see the practical way. So first you open your NetBeans. Open your NetBeans. Your NetBeans will open. So create a project. Go to the project. So select the PHP. Select PHP and PHP application. Click on the next button. So give your project name. So my project name is OSWT. Click on the next button. And one more thing you have to remember here. So here the source folder. So before running your PHP program, you first install your XAMPP server in your machine. After that you activate that particular machine. Then only you can go to your NetBeans IDE. Then write your program there. Okay, first what you have to do, first you have to download the XAMPP server. Once the downloading is over, you start your Apache server in that particular XAMPP module. So here also we are having the Apache is there, but this particular Apache is not supported. Why? Because we are not having the PHP module in this particular Apache server. In XAMPP server only we are maintaining the PHP module. Okay, XAMPP server only we are maintaining the PHP module. You have to activate that particular XAMPP server, then only you can go and run your PHP program. Okay, so first you save all your files in particular folder. That particular folder name is a XAMPP folder, XAMPP/htdocs. there you have to save your file name, or automatically all programs, all your PHP related files are stored in your XAMPP folder. In that particular XAMPP, we are having the HD docs are there. In that particular folder only we are storing all our PHP related information or PHP related project. So click on the next button. And one more thing you have to remember here. So here, so we are having, you have to provide your local address where you are running that particular, PHP file or PHP project where you are running. That information is coming here. So what is my project name here? My project name is a OSWT, where that particular project is running. That particular project is running in a XAMPP server, right? That particular XAMPP server IP address you have to provide. That particular XAMPP server IP address you have to provide here. My XAMPP server IP address is a local host. I am running that particular XAMPP server within my system. For that all I am giving the local host. You are running that particular XAMPP server in somewhere else, you have to provide that particular IP address there. That particular server address you have to provide. After that, click on the next button. And click on the finish. Your PHP file is open. So how to save the PHP file? What is the extension for the PHP file? That is a .php. Okay, that is a .php. Okay, now what I'm doing here is, now I'm opening the XAMPP file, XAMPP server. So you open your XAMPP server, click on the start button. This is called the XAMPP control panel. Okay, click on the start button. In your background, that Apache server is running. Okay, Apache server with the PHP module. Okay, now how to write your PHP code in this particular file? You open your PHP open tag and close PHP tag. PHP open tag and close PHP tag. I'm printing some information here. That is a echo hello world. In echo I'm printing something that is a hello world. And each and every statement is terminated with the semicolon. Each and every statement is terminated with the semicolon. You write here semicolon. And save your file and click on the run button. If you want, you can select the browser also here. Click on the run button. Now see, this is my output. This is my output. That is called hello world. Okay, so next you try to print some information there. I'm using the HTML tags here. Inside that echo statement, I'm using the h1 tag, and save your file and print. So this particular hello world is in a h1 style. That is a heading 1 style. So I'm using the center tag there. So you try to print some information. So in previous class we are talking about the variables, right? We'll see that particular example here. How to declare a variable dollar and variable name. The variable name always starts with the letter, right? Always starts with the letter equal to hello world. Next, $n equal to 10. So this is the first one is a string data type and second one is a integer data type. But here we are not mentioning that particular data type there. We are not mentioning that particular data type. So now try to print that particular information. For that I am using the echo statement. With the help of the echo I am printing that particular information. So this is my output. Okay, this is my output. Okay, so next we'll see the variable initialization and scope. Next one is the variable initialization and scope. We'll see. So we initialized some variables here. First one is the text variable. Second one is n equal to 10. So I'm writing the function here. Function test. What is my function name? Function name is my test. How to write a function? You have to write a function with function keyword. First you write the function. After that you have to write a function name. First you write a function, after that you have to write the function name, after that open bracket and close bracket, within that particular open bracket and close bracket you write your statements there. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the value n, $n I'm taking here, echo, you try to print that particular $n. So if you want to print that particular information, you have to call that particular text function, you have to call that particular test function. See here, what is my value n? 1, 2, 3. But here outside the function, my n value is 10. Outside the function, n value is 10. Inside this particular test function, a value is n. Okay, means what? That particular n is a local to that particular function. That n 1, 2, 3 is a local to this particular function called test. That particular n value equal to 1, 2, 3 will valid only within the open bracket and the closed bracket. That particular n value will valid only within the open bracket and the closed bracket. Now what about this particular outside the function? We are having the n equal to 10, right? So if you want to access this particular n equal to 10 value within this particular function, what you have to do here is you have to write the global keyword before your variable. You have to write the global keyword before your variable, then only that particular n will act as a global keyword. Otherwise it will not act as a global variable. Clear? If you want to use that particular global values inside your function, so for that what you have to do, for that before your variable name you have to define the global keyword. If you are defining the global, then only we can use that particular n equal to 10 value inside the function. Otherwise we cannot use. Okay, you define the global n. Now try to print that value with the help of the echo statement. And save your program and compile the program. See here, what is the value here? N value is 10. That is a global value. Now if you try to print outside the function, now we'll see what is the n value here. So if you want to access this particular n value within the function, we have to mention the global. Outside the function, that is not required. N value, the global keyword is not required. Save your program and compile. So here I am assigning the one more value there, global $n equal to 234. So if you want, you can do some modifications in that particular n value. Save. And run. Save and run. Save and run, you will see the difference between the global value and the local value. Now we'll see the one more example here, and this is a one way to create the PHP file. Okay, this is a one way to create the PHP file. In this particular PHP file, we are having the HTML code, and what we are doing here, we are embedding the PHP code inside that particular HTML file, HTML code. So how we are embedding that particular PHP code there? So for that we are using the PHP open tag and PHP close tag. We are using the PHP open tag and close tag. Now we'll see the one more example. So go to your project folder. Go to your project folder. Go to your project folder, click on the next and click on the PHP web page. PHP web page and write your file name. So in this particular example, we are seeing the all string functions. all string functions. You write your PHP code here only. So within the PHP open tag and close tag, between those two tags only you have to write your PHP code. And this is also, this particular file also similar to your HTML file. So you print some message there, PHP string functions. Now we are talking here. Now first we are finding the length of the string. Okay, now we are finding the first one, we are seeing the length of the string. So for that we are using the, what function we have to use for finding the length of the string? We have to use the length function. You define one or you can declare one string arguments there, and you print that particular length with the help of the echo statement, echo string length. Now how to find the length of the string? Str dot or str len function. How to use the str len function? There you have to pass your string there. There you have to pass your string. This is the syntax for printing the length of the string. Now we'll see the output. So what is the output here? 11. String length is 11. String length is 11. The given string is a hello world and length of the string is 11. So next we'll see the one more function here. So counting the words. So for counting the words, so here I am taking the word string 2. So string 2 is there. How many words are there? We are having the 2 words are there. We are having only the 2 words. What are the words? First one is a hello and second one is a world. Okay, first one is a hello, second one is a world. Those are the 2 words are there. That's why I am getting here string count equal to or word count equal to 2. And next one is we are printing in the string in a reverse order. Next we are printing a string in a reverse order. So this is the output for printing the string in a reverse order. Now we'll see the functions. Now we'll see all those functions. Okay, see here, for finding the length of the string we are using the strlen. We are using the strlen. After that we are passing that particular string in that particular function. So next one is finding the count of the words in a string. Finding the count of the words in a string. So for that we are using the str word count. Str underscore word underscore count function. There you have to pass your string. There you have to pass your string. Then you will get the count of the words. Next one is reversing a string. For that you have to use the str reverse. For that you have to use the str rev. There you have to pass your string. There you have to pass your string. Okay. So next we'll see the one more functions. Echo. So we have replacement function. We'll see replacement of the string. We'll see within the string. So for that we are using the str underscore replace. For that we are using the str underscore replace function. So first you write your word, next the replacement word. After that you write your hello world, your string. So you have to pass the string values in single quotations. So not in single quotation, you have to pass your string value in a double quotations only, not in single quotation. If you are using the characters, you want to read the characters, alphabets, ABC, for that you have to use a single quotation. So for reading the string, you have to use the double quotation. See here, search keyword and replacement keyword and your string you have to pass. First one is a search keyword, next one is a replacement keyword, and third one is your string, your entire string. So search keyword, what is my first search keyword? My search keyword is hello. My search keyword is hello. So replacement keyword is, you write some replacement keyword there. So which by which you want to replace. Okay, that keyword you have to write here. That is a hello. So next one is you pass your entire string here. You pass your entire string. I'm passing my string there, and save your file and compile compile your file, and you will get the output here. See here, hello world is my string. So here what I'm doing here, I'm replacing with the hello with bye. Okay, I'm replacing with the hello with bye. So this is the output for your replacement string. So next one. Next we'll see the one more string function. Repeat a string. Okay, we are repeating some characters in the string. So for that we are using the repeat function. str underscore repeat. So first one is you have to give the input. After that you have to give the multiplier, how many times you want to repeat, that value you have to pass there. So here multiplier, you have to pass the integer value. I want to repeat the 3 times, so that's why I'm giving the 3. Save your file and refresh. See how many times it repeated. It repeated 3 times. First time, second time and third time. It repeated 3 times. So next we'll see the one more function. Echo see the one more function, echo. Okay, so that is about the string functions. Now we'll create the one more file called PHP class file. So we'll go to your project folder and right click and click on the new, click on the PHP file. So we are creating one empty PHP file, and this PHP file is different and your PHP web file is different. This particular PHP file, we are having only the PHP code. We are not having any other HTML code. We are having only the PHP code. For that you have to use the PHP file. If you want to create only the pure PHP file, for that you have to use the PHP file. Don't select the PHP web page. You select only the PHP file. So here in this particular example, we'll talk about the arrays. So how to array name equal to array of, you pass your values, value 1, value 2, value 3. So what is my first value? First value is the BMW and second one is a Volvo. So after that, how to print that particular array? So you have to print that particular array with the index value. Array of 0. What is array of 0 is BMW. Next, if you want to access the second value, you have to pass the array of 1. How to write the array of 1. Okay. So next. Next we will see the one more function. So here I am having the total 3 values are there. I am printing all those 3 values with the help of the array of 0, array of 1, array of 2. So those are the all 3 values. You mention some BR there, then only it will come in the next line. And copy and paste in the next line also. See, and save your program and run the file and see the output. BMW, Volvo and Benz. Okay, all coming in a line by line. Okay, so this is the example for creation of the array. This is the example for creation of the array. Or we can say, and with the help of this particular example, we can say this is called the indexed array. Now we'll see one more example here. So already we completed the indexed array. In this particular indexed array, what we are doing here, just we are creating the array of BMW, Volvo and Benz. We are having the 3 values, right? And we are printing all those 3 values by calling the index number. So how to call cards of 0, cards of 1, cards of 2. Okay, this is the indexed array. So next one is the associative array is there. How to create associative array? We are having the array value and the key is there. Array value and the key. Okay, so this is the example for associative array. Now we'll see that one in practical way. So next one is a B and W, that is the values I'm passing there. That is the associative array, that is a key value. 100 is a key, Volvo is a value, and 142 is also a key. So I'm printing the values with the help of, I'm printing the keys with the help of the values. So next one is a multi-dimensional array. So in that array, I'm creating the one more array. I'm creating the one array for the cars, another array for the names, and another array for the initializations or initials. So how to access the values there? You have to call that particular array first index and second index. Okay, first one and second one. So first you run your program. So this is the indexed array. This is the associative array. In associative array, we are printing the keys there. And multi-dimensional array, we are printing the ABI. What is that particular ABI? So that particular ABI is available in one array 1 and second value. Array 1 and second value. So what is the array? This is the first one is the 0th array. Second one is the first array. The value, the index value is, first array for index value is 0. Second array index value is 1 and third array index value is 2. Clear? So first we are calling the, so first what is the here, what value we are calling here? First array, second value. First array, second value. What is the first array here? Names is the first array. What is the second value here? Aman, Amit and Abhi is there. So what is the second value here? So Abhi is the second value. The index value starts with the 0. 0 position we are having the Aman value, and first position we are having the Amit, and third position we are having the Abhi, right? So here we are calling the first array second value. First array second value means what here? You go to the names array, there you have called the second value. Okay, so that is the meaning of this particular statement. We'll see one more example. You are calling the second 0th array 0th value. 0th array 0th value. Save your program and refresh your browser. See, 0th array 0th value, first value is the B and W. Okay, the first one is the B and W. If you want to change, so which value will come here? Which value will come here? So if you are giving the 0, 1, it will come a Volvo. 1, 2. And save your program and go to your browser, see the output. See here, all those first 0th array information is displayed there. If you want to go for the second array, instead of 0, you write the second array name or second array index value. So here we are having the two dimensions, right? First dimension for the array index and second dimension for the array value. Okay, first dimension is for the array index. So here, how many arrays are there? We are having the 3 arrays. The array index value starts with the 0, 1, 2. Okay, means what? 0 to n minus 1. 0 to n minus 1. Now if you want to access the second array means what? Second array value. So second array means what here? Array of 1 of 0, array of 1 of 2, array 1 of 1. So like that you can access the value here. So here I am calling the third array. What is the index value of third array? Index value of third array is a 2. 2 of 0 means what? It will call the initialization value, or it will call the initial values, that is the j. So next one is the 2 of 1 means what? It will call the another value in that particular array. And 2 of 2 means what? It will call the third position value in that particular third array. Okay, this is about the arrays. Next we'll see the array sorting example. So first one is the array sorting examples. So first we are printing the all array values in ascending order. For that we are using the sort function. You take one names array. My array name is a name. Amar, Nitin and Amber. You write take some array there, and you call that particular sort function. Sort of, you pass your array there. Sort of, what is your array name? My array name is the names. Okay, save your program. Each and every statement is terminated with the semicolon in PHP. Okay, so if you want to print all those values, for that what we have to use? We have to use the for loop. For I equal to 0, I less than, how to find the length of the array? How to find the length of the array? str dot or array dot length, or you can use the count function also. Count of, you pass that particular array name. With the help of the count function, we are finding the count length of the array. After that, you print that particular values. How to print name of I? Name of I, and compile your program. Now see the output here. So what is the first one? Amar, Amber, Devil, Nitin and Sky. That is a ascending order of your indexed array. That is ascending order of your indexed array. You write the BR. Now see the output. Amber, Amar is there. Amber, next Nitin, Sky and Devil. Now save your program. Now write the one more function, one more PHP function. Now we'll print all elements in a reverse order. So reverse order is nothing but descending order. So for that we are using the OR sort, and you simply copy and paste that particular for loop here. Save and run your file. Now see the output. See, first one is a Sky, Nitin, Devil, Amber and Amar. So first one is a ascending order, second one is a descending order. That is the example for your PHP arrays. Okay, so next we'll see. Next we'll see the one more sorting function. That is a sort array. For that a sort array, what array we have to create? We have to create a associative array. So for that I am creating the associative array. This is my value and this is my key. You create one associative array. My associative array name is a ASR. So I'm creating here. It is a big array. So total I'm taking the 4 variables here. Okay, that is the one. You can no need to write the 1, 2, 3. You can write the anything here. 10 you can give, 21 you can give, 23 you can give some anything. Okay, no need to write the only the order 1, 2, 3. You can write any number there. You save and call the associative array function. You write the for loop there. How to find the length of the array? For that we are using the count of array, count of ASR. After that I plus plus, incrementing the values there. I plus plus, echo BR means what? Printing in the next line, for break the line, dot ASR of I. We are sorting the based on the value. This function will return the based on the value. See here. See why you are getting here error here? Because you are getting some error. Because this particular associative array, in this particular associative array, we are not having the index values, right? We are not having the 0, 1, 2, 3. We are not having the index value. So you don't write this particular for loop for your associative array. Clear? You don't write the for loop for your associative array. Directly you print that particular values there. So that's why we are getting the error here. So here we are not having the index values, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why we are getting the error. Here what we are doing here, we are taking the index value 0 and we are incrementing the value, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That information is not available here. Indexed array information is not available. Okay, this is the associative array. How to print this particular information? So for that we have to use the for each statement. For that we have to use the for each loop. For each loop means what? We are printing the information in a block. For printing the block information, for that you have to use a for each statement. If you want to print in a single value, so for that you have to use a for loop, normal for loop. So here I am using the for each statement. For each, as first I am printing the key, after that I am printing the value. I and value. Echo, you print that particular value, key, and we are printing the value. Printing the value. You save your program. Value, save your program and execute. So we are sorting the this particular associative array based on the value. Okay, based on the value. Now see the output. See here. See here, what is the key value? First value is a 0, 10, 211, 223. We're sorting the values there. So keys are nothing but Amar, Abin, Navi, Akshit. These are the keys. Now we'll see the one more function. That is a k-sort function. We'll see now. You just copy and paste here. So instead of OR sort, you have to use the k-OR sort. A sort, you have to use the k sort. So now see the output. See here, the value is sorted based on the keys. Abin, Akshit, Amar and Navi. Okay, those are the keys. Now you print in a reverse order. So print in a reverse order. For that I am using the AR sort and run the file. See. So I am printing the reverse order based on the value 123, 223, 211. Based on that I am printing in a reverse order. So next we'll see the one more example. Next one is the k-OR sort. Based on the keys we are reversing the array. For that I am using the k-OR sort and save the file and run the file. So k-OR sort. So go down. So here we are having the k-OR sort. So first one is a Navi, Amar, Akshit and Abhi. Okay, that is the k-OR sort. Means what? Based on the keys we are doing in a reverse order. Okay, keys means what here? Alphabet Navi, Amar, Akshit and Abhin is the keys. And values are nothing but 220, 233, 210. Those are the values. Okay, so next one is the PHP functions. So in PHP also we are having the different types of functions array. So here in PHP we are having the nearly 1000 built-in functions array. So we'll see the first one is a array. Some built-in functions are available in this particular PHP. So first one is the array function. With the help of this particular array function, what we are doing, we are creating the array in our PHP script. For that we are using the array function. So next one is the date function. Is that with the help of this particular date function, we are printing the date on our screen. With the help of this particular date function, we are printing the date. So next one is the error is there and exception handling is there. For handling the errors, we are using the error function. For handling the exceptions, we are using the exception concept here. Okay, so we'll discuss about the exception in later session. Okay, so next in PHP we are having the built-in functions, and also user allowed to create a functions, or we can say that user defined functions also available here, or that particular feature is supported in this particular PHP scripting language. Okay, so finally what we are talking here is in PHP also we are having the functions. So first are the built-in functions are there, and also user defined functions are there. In built-in functions, so we are talking about the arrays, and we are talking about the date, and we are talking about the errors and exception handling. With the help of the array function, we are creating the array. With the help of the date function, what we are doing here, we are printing the date. Okay, we are printing the date. For printing the date, we are having the different formats are there. With the help of that particular date function, we can print the date in our screen. With the help of the error and exception, we are handling the errors and exception. Okay, in our PHP scripting language. So next one is a user defined functions are there. In this particular user defined functions, what we are doing here is we are going to develop our own functions, or user going to develop the functions, or we can say that user is defined or user developing that functions are called the user defined function. That feature is available in this particular PHP. Okay, so now we'll see these particular functions in detail. Clear? So first what we have to do, first we have to write the function. Function keyword is compulsory before your function name. Okay, function keyword is compulsory before your function name. You have to write the function. After that you have to write your function name. Function name. If you are having any parameters you want to pass, you can pass the parameters in that particular function if it is a parameterized function. If it is a non-parameterized function, you need not to pass the parameters there. So based on your requirement, you are creating the function, right? So there if you want to pass the parameters, and we are saying that is called a parameterized function. If you are not passing any parameters there, and we are saying that is called a non-parameterized function. Okay, so after that you open your bracket and close your bracket. Between open bracket and close bracket, you write your statements there. What statement you want to execute, you write your logic part there. Okay, you write your logic part. So next we'll see one example here. So here first what I'm writing here is I'm writing one function here. First I'm writing the function name. My function name is a write MSG. Write message is my function name. What I'm doing there, just I'm printing the information. For printing that particular information, I'm writing one function. After your function creation purpose is over, you call that function, you call that particular function, then only that particular information will be displayed. If you are not calling that particular function, so we are not printing that particular information. For calling that one, so you just write the function name here. So what is my function name? Write message. Okay, write message. After that you end with the semicolon. Each and in PHP, each and every statement is terminated with the semicolon. You call that particular function, then only that particular function is invoked, and that particular information is displayed on your screen. Okay, so next we'll see some example practical way. You first open your file, go to your source, click on the new, click on the PHP file, and write your PHP file name. My PHP file name is a PHP functions. So here it is allowed only to write only the PHP code only available here. Okay, so I'm writing the PHP code within the open PHP script and close PHP script. There I'm writing the function. My function name is hello. And open bracket and close bracket. Between open bracket and close bracket, you print some information. So here why we are getting the error here, because the function spelling is wrong, right? So FUNCTION function. So you print some information there. Just I'm printing the echo message. After that how to call that particular function. Don't run your function, don't run your file. Okay, why we are not getting information here? Because we are not calling that particular function. That's why we are not getting the information. You call that particular function hello and run the file, and see here, this is your output. This is your output. Okay, so next we'll write the one palindrome function there. So palindrome, so there what we are doing there. Okay, so next we are writing the palindrome function here. In palindrome we are passing the one number, that is called the, this function is called the, what is this function? This function is the parameterized function or argument we are passing, right? We are saying that is called an argument function. We are passing the arguments in that function. So that is where passing the number, and you write your palindrome logic here. You write your palindrome logic here and then call that particular palindrome function and execute. So I'm writing my palindrome function here. I'm writing my palindrome logic here. While after that you return some value here. Okay, in this particular function what I'm doing here, we are returning the value, right? So this is a parameterized passing function and we are returning the some value there, and also we can say that this is a return function. Okay, we are returning some value here. You return some value and you call your palindrome function. Call your palindrome function. And write your remaining logic here. So what I'm doing here, so here I'm returning the value, right? You save that particular return value in some variable. You save that particular return value in some variable and compare that particular value. Compare the return value and the given value. The both are same. What we are doing here, we are saying that is a palindrome function. If it is, that is a palindrome number. If the both are not equal and we are printing, that is a not palindrome. Okay, that logic right here and save your program. And one more thing you have to remember here, you have to call the floor number. You have to call the floor and check the output. So it is a palindrome. It is a palindrome. See the output, it is a palindrome. 121 is a palindrome, right? So that output we are printing there. If you want, you can change. So whatever the number you are taking, I'm passing that particular number here.